Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Nathalie Charles. I'd like to welcome you to the Career Success series where we talk about professional growth and share career stories to inspire and empower people to take action. My guest today, I'm so excited. I'm so very excited to introduce her. My guest today is Miss Vernisha Charles, and I'm extremely excited to introduce her, not only because of how excited she is about her own work, about the work that she does, but she's someone who I've known from the beginning of my career journey, someone who's always been so passionate about helping other people develop and grow. And she's just an all-around awesome person. She is a mom, a wife, a luxury brand consultant, a trainer, and a forensic networker, which we will talk a little bit more about. So Vern, welcome.
Thank you so much, Shauna, for having me. It's really exciting for me to be here with you, really to share your stage. I think it's the first time we're sharing an international stage together. And for those persons listening who are seeing either Shauna for the first time or Miss Shauna, my gosh, she's one of those persons from very early who really inspired me, even if I was already a manager, and seeing her zeal, her passion, and more so her love for people and a desire to really help people grow and evolve is something that kept me connected with Shauna. She's one of the few people from all the way back then when we worked together, I'm still connected with very close. And we share the same last name.
Yeah. People may think we're related, but we
related.
are. But not by blood, not the way we'd love to be, right?
That's right. But I love the way that we're related. So much so we're in sync and we're in the same colors and didn't plan it.
Could you believe it?
Yes, so it's an honor to be here with you, Shauna.
We are talking about something really exciting and something which you are so expert at, if I may say. And we're talking about the success mindset today, which is something I think that's important for every single person, not just job seekers or career builders, but everyone. Because really and truly, I believe that your mindset is really the foundation of everything else. Yeah, in life.
I absolutely agree.
Before we go on, Vern, I want to ask you sorry, I'm just having a little, okay, I just had a little glitch. But I want to do something a little bit fun and ask you a few warm-up questions, if that's okay. You're up for it?
That's absolutely all right. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so my first question, what is the worst job you've ever had without mentioning any names of any companies? Just tell us a little bit about the worst job you've ever had.
I've not had many jobs, Shauna, but the worst, what we would relate to as the worst, I think was my best, because it's really what propelled me out of the employee mindset and employee world and pushed me outside of my comfort zone and made me step into an entrepreneur or a mompreneur, as I usually say. So what turned out to be perhaps the worst job for me really became the best job because it really turned my life around and exploded me into levels that I really didn't imagine. So it's really how you look at it. So it was probably my worst and my best job. In terms of worst, not enjoying what I was doing. I enjoyed what I was doing, but I did not like the environment in which I was existing, doing what I was doing. And some of the individuals and how they operated, their mindsets and all of that became very frustrating. And that's what got me to make the decision to move out of that place and really start building something for me and my kids.
Wow, wonderful, good. It's a good thing that job happened, yes? I think it's a good thing for the world that job happened to you. Otherwise, you would not be the powerhouse that you are today.
It's true, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Next question. What is something that you'd love to talk about that no one ever asks you about?
My biggest passion is being a mom.
Yeah.
I have 4 spectacular human beings that call me mom. They call me mommy. And they rock my world. They get me emotional every time I talk about them. And I think it's one of the biggest, most significant, most frustrating, and most important job there is ever in the universe is that of being a mom. I'm not talking about a parent, but being a mother. And Shauna, what really shifted me big time from being controlled with time by any organization or system was because of how limited I felt in my role as a mother. And for those persons watching who have had kids, the first word, you want to be there. The first step, you want to be there. For your children's first milestones and everything, you want to be there. And for my first 3 kids, the daycare was the one who told me about these milestones. And it always made me cry because I did not hear the first word, and it wasn't mommy, they said, you know, and the way they got excited about another person like they were excited about me. So the question that never comes up is, how do you feel being a mom and being a working mom and being a professional and being a mom? And my professionalism, my business, my career, all of that is after my role of being a mom. When I was an employee, it was the job and then my family and my kids. And I love that shift. And my kids are the ones that really propel me. They are the ones that empower me. They are my biggest why of everything that I do, even for myself, because these 4 individuals, if I don't set a proper foundation, if I don't set a proper example, if I don't create good enough for me, then they don't have a blueprint to go by. Then they go searching for a blueprint. And I wanted my blueprint to be the first choice for them, or to use to create their own blueprints for life.
That's a powerful job, Vern. That is the most powerful job, yes? Wow. And so you've just told us, you just answered that question, which you've always wanted people to ask you. And that is, tell us about being a mom. You've just told us about being a mom, and the way you speak about it, the passion is oozing out of every part of you. I can see it, I can feel it, although we're so far apart. And so, wow, I'm not a mom, but I think I'm the next best closest thing, which is an auntie to 12 nieces. To 12 nieces and nephews, and I could not even begin to imagine just the amount of love that you have and this passion for creating the blueprints. I love that. So along the lines of parenting, what is something that your mom or dad does that you find yourself doing these days?
These days, ooh, all the time, all of my parenting skills, most of them, if not all of them, I took from my parents. My parents should really be my grandparents, Shauna, because I'm too young to be my parents' child. My dad is 91. Well, I can say on air, I'm 43. And my dad is 91. My mom is 86. And I have older sisters and brothers who are old enough to be my mom and my dad. So their kids are older than me, and they call me auntie. So I grew up the old-fashioned way. And I loved the parenting skills. After I started my family, I began to appreciate more and more the parenting style of way back as opposed to now. So what I have done, the thing of when my parents, especially my dad calls me old soul. He says I'm much older than I am because I spent so much time with them, and I have taken up all of their wisdom and their way of thinking and the way of doing things. My mom, it's not something that most parents, I think, do that. But my mother, I remember growing up, and even in her sleep, because it was a wooden house, and whatever happens wherever you'd hear in the house. And I remember as a very young child, my mother would be asleep, and I would be hearing my mom praying in her sleep. And that was a phenomenal thing for me. That impacted me from very young. And I was saying, wow, no wonder we all turned out okay, because my parents has 13 of us. I'm number 12 out of 13. And no wonder we all turned out okay. My mom is a prayer pillar. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom until my last sister was born.
Okay.
So my mom was the one who was home when I got home from school. The food was cooked and the little junk that was already there, like the tablets and the guava cheese and all of these little things. And my mother was always home to receive us. And I remember what that felt for me. My dad was the very, very strict, very rigid, and nothing would pass my dad. My dad, if we set the table, it had to be done perfectly. And I learned that from my dad. If you're going to do something, you do it the best way that you possibly can now. So if anyone else judges you as a result of what you've done, that it's not good enough, you then will judge yourself and know that it was your best. So I learned that from my dad. If you were washing dishes, you do it your best. So if I wash the glass and it's crying, my father said it would be crying, like you see the droplets on the yes. He would make me go wash it back until it was spotless. And he always said, don't waste time doing something twice and three times when you could have done it once and do it well. So I took that from my dad. While he was very harsh, and I thought in those days he was being cruel, but growing up and being on my own, I have saved a lot of time, Shauna. When I make my bed, I make it impeccably, like I've been in the army, and I teach my sons, my kids, the same thing. I have 3 boys, and when my sons make a bed, you think it was a grown-up woman who made the bed.
Wow.
And same thing for even to opening clothes on the wire. It's done by length and by type, and my sons do the same thing. And so I learned perfectionism from my dad. And when I say perfectionism, I put it in quotes, not meaning perfect, but doing it the best way the first time. And if it's not perfect, exactly. Yes. If it's not good enough, then you know you can grow from there because you did it perfect. And if it wasn't done well enough, then it means now you learn, and then you grow, and then you grow. So I learned that from my dad. And there's so much I can talk about that I picked up from my parents.
And but that you're now passing on to your kids.
My kids. That's correct. And even in my business as well. Even in my business as well.
Yes, you have a daughter, Chloe, who's already an entrepreneur at 18. Yeah?
Well, she just turned 19 last month.
Okay. Happy birthday, Chloe. Wow.
And so Chloe has learned a lot. Actually, she spends more time with my parents than she does with me. My parents have somewhat adopted her as their own. So whenever she's
sorry.
Yes. And both of my parents adore Chloe. You would think truly they gave birth to her, and they're forever blessing her, Shauna. And that's something that cannot be taken away. And my parents, my mother and my father separately are always blessing her because of how amazing she is to them at their age and knowing her age. So my father says Chloe is her back to front because he's 91 and she's 19.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That's amazing. What a story. Oh, wow. Yeah. Chloe, all the best to you. You are already following the right path. I just wish her so much success because she's doing such a great job. Yeah.
Thank you, Shauna.
Great job to you, Vern.
Thank you, Shauna.
So today, well, you did very well for the warm-up questions. Yes. Thanks for that. Today, we're talking about the success mindset. And if you follow Vern on her social media, you know that she's all about up here. She's all about the mindset and building the right frame of mind, the right mindset for success. She's really an advocate for positive thinking, if you ask me. So Vern, can we get into this topic? What is the success mindset in your view? And how can young professionals, mid-career professionals, or experienced professionals go about changing their mindset to a more positive one?
Shauna, that's a loaded question. And I want to start where I got started. And I go back to, I'm a Christian, and I go back to the word. And one of my favorite scripture texts is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And for me, this is where everything became true for me. And so when I delved into that, I got more and more books that I started reading. And Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, The Law of Attraction by Abraham Hicks. There's so many of these books that I have been reading. And when I take the context of these books, and I take it back to the word, that what I've learned from the Bible, it's pretty much hand in glove when I understand it. So regardless of what profession, what job, no matter what it is, every person that you'd speak with that has been successful in their role, regardless of the role, you would see something that's common. It's how they think, how they believe. And it starts with the belief in yourself. And most persons, they get a little bit of success and then they go back down and then they get a little break again and they call that luck. But it really isn't luck. And when you look at some persons who have had a stream of success and they're always going up and up and up, it means that their mindset has been that of what is it that they truly want. So when persons say, Vern, you are so positive, is there anything that can put you down? I would say about 9 years ago, yes, definitely. I was like a yo-yo. When the weather was dark, I got dark. When the weather was gray, I was gray. When the weather was nice, I was nice. And I was heavily influenced by what was happening outside of me, because I had not come to terms with truly who I am and what I am and the powers that I have. And when I started to understand the power of my mind and what my mind can do and what my mind can create and what my mind can control, then I started working on my mind, how I think. I don't have to think of the pandemic and the negative effects of it, but I can start thinking of the pandemic, of how it can bless me. And that's what I did. And Shauna, truly in the past 7 years, 2020 was one of my biggest years financially in my business. And it's all because I programmed my mind to certain things. And so I started by asking, Vern, what do you want? What do I want? And in the instances where I didn't really know what I wanted, we always know what we don't want.
That's
you would ask the person, what do you want? Well, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this. And then when I wasn't sure about what I wanted and I knew what I didn't want, I used what I did not want to create contrast to help me know what I didn't want. And once I found that, I would hang on to it and then I would go. So for my jobs, for example, I say, I didn't want a job where I have to work long hours. I didn't want a job where I had a bad boss. I didn't want a job and I didn't. And guess what? I got all of it. I got all of what I didn't want. And then when I learned, as a man, truly as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I started thinking properly. What do I want? I want a job this year that will allow me to use all of the skills that I have, all of the passions that I have, and not just to elevate me, but to elevate all those around me. And somebody will say, what? Are you real? I am real. That's not realistic. Realistic does not exist for me, because realistic means it is what you have created. And because I know you, Shauna, cannot create in my reality, I focus purely on what I want, regardless of how stormy it is outside, regardless of how much is happening outside. I control my outside based on what I push from my inside. So if for a young person who has been told, or who has finished schooling, all of the schooling that they aspire to do up to this point in their life, and figure they're not in the job or the career that they want, perhaps it's because they have not been focusing solely on what they want. So I say, take a sheet of paper and begin to write out, put the career that you want at the top, and begin to list as many as you can. Why do you deserve this career or this job? Why do you deserve it? So now you'll begin to appoint you for it spiritually within you. And then the more you begin to think about it, the more it will just start getting bigger and bigger and bigger in you. And then you start to feel it. And as you feel it, you give off that energy or vibration. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You begin now to magnetize to you these things. And then you will say, wow, it's a miracle, it's magic. It's consistently thinking and focusing and feeling about what you want, whether it's your career, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your job. And my kids have been doing that. I will use my 13-year-old son as an example. He's a lot like me. I don't like him a lot of days because he's too much like me.
You've given him the blueprint, Vern.
Yeah, you know, he speaks a lot like me. He's very outspoken. He has a comeback for everything. And then he says to me, Mommy, you know, even if I'm at school, I can make a lot of money. And I said, okay, Zai. Mommy, you know, the school has drainage all around it. Mommy, every day I walk around the drain in the school, I find money. Mommy, I'll find $5. Mommy, sometimes I find $20. I said, so Zai, what do you do with it? Mommy, of course, I know you would tell me to take it to the office because it belongs to somebody and they would need it. So I take it to the office every time. And he's always magnetizing money to himself. He's a cricketer professionally at his young age. So he represents St. Lucia on the Windwards for the Windwards team. And so before he made that team, one of his affirmations were always, Mommy, I am the best cricketer you've ever seen and the world will know my name. And he's like, Mommy, I'm going to make it. Even if I'm the small, he's very, very small, very, very small. He's 13. When you see him, you'll think he's 9 or 7. He's very petite. But when he holds a bat, there's no limitation. When he swings a ball, there's no limitation with him. And then when he made the team, he was one of the first that got picked from the tryouts. And he came home, he said, Mommy, I told you, it's no surprise. And he goes they usually tell him, like my family, they would joke with him and say, I say, you don't even have size. How are you holding a bat? How you can throw the ball? And he says, okay, come in the wicket. I'll show you how I'll take your wicket in my first over. And you'll not be able to hit my balls because I know how to swing it. I don't know much about that. And his mindset first is about he has a very strong belief in himself. A very, very strong belief in himself. And I ask persons who are listening, if you have been taunted growing up about your limitations, or you're not this and you're not that, and there are a lot of nots and no's and don'ts that have been told to you with your name, then it is time that you begin to spend time with you. Begin to spend time with you and begin to love you. And I do that a lot, Shauna, not as much now as before, because I think I've grown to that place of I love my eyes because I love my nose because I love my lips because I love my stomach because I love my legs because I used to get joked a lot by my siblings of my eyes. They used to tell me in Creole, your eyes are big like a pregnant moon rising behind the mountain. And they say it in patois. So I always thought that was a really bad thing until one day I saw a pregnant moon rising behind the mountain. And I was like, oh my God, that is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So that's what my eyes look like. And then I fell in love with my eyes. And then they used to call me cold lips when I was younger. And I hated my lips because of that. And then as I grew up, people started telling me, oh my God, I love your lips. You have such beautiful lips. And and it would be both men and women. And so I grew to love my lips and dispel all of the negative things I was being told. And so, Shauna, it's about first loving you and believing in you, regardless of what you're aspiring to do, believing that you are worth it, you are worthy of it, and that you can do it. So belief in self is the first thing. If you're aspiring for a particular career or job, you believe in that career or job, not because somebody told you about it, but because you fundamentally believe in it. You have a belief system in it. You see how it can benefit you and so many others, and you see all of the reasons. So believe in yourself, and then believe in your career, believe in your job, believe in your business, and then the rest will fall into line for you. Really, it happened to me. And so many others I have coached in that area, it's happened to them and continuing to happen with so many others.
And from what you just said, it sounds like the basis of it is really knowing yourself. Yeah, spending time, like you said, with yourself and knowing yourself. Yeah.
Very true.
When about 4 years ago, I follow you on Facebook. Well, you know that. I noticed that you shared a post. I made a note somewhere here so that I could try to quote you verbatim. But you said essentially that loving in that video, you said the opinion of others should not be the reality that you believe for yourself. Yeah? Tying in with what you just spoke about. Now, of course, that's a very profound, very powerful statement, very powerful words. How would you encourage young people to balance this idea with the idea that first impressions are lasting and what people see, how the world judges us based on what they see? How would you encourage young people to strike the balance between these two? Because some people may think, okay, you're saying that my reality is one thing, but other people see me this way. So what are you really saying to me? What would be your advice to young professionals or anyone? I keep saying young professionals, but this is everybody. What would you say to them to help them balance these two thoughts?
First of all, Shauna, that quote does not belong to me. I really learned that from Les Brown. And yeah. Les Brown was one of the first motivational speakers I started listening to some years ago when I started my career, my path as an entrepreneur. And that statement is true in all ways for me. And the question that you're asking about striking a balance, that takes me exactly back to what I said I learned from my dad about doing your best every time. And if I were to come on your show, and my hair is all ruly and everything, yeah. And then the world sees me as, well, this girl is really nasty. This girl is uncouth. Didn't she know that she was coming on a video where persons will be able to see her? Or I'm here and I have a wrap on and I'm not presentable. There's a time and place for everything. Mm-hmm. There is a time and place for everything. When I'm with my siblings, where we call our big yard, that's at our parents' house. Mm-hmm. We call that the big yard. It's literally a big yard. And there's so many of us. When we get there, I have pastors in my family. I have professionals, entrepreneurs, persons who are high up in government. I have a host of different persons in my family, managers, heads of departments. When we get into the big yard, Shauna, there's no portfolio there. Everybody belongs to Mama and PC. We are children when we get there. So everybody let their guards down. And I do videos when I'm there and post on my and post. And it's to show that life is made up of, I like to call it a buffet. Life is made up of a buffet. So the way that you will be with your girls or your boys, when you get to work, that behavior is not the same. And it doesn't mean that you're not being yourself. It means that you know where to draw the line for what. Okay? So a lot of young persons figure, oh, I'm young, I don't have to be that way when I go to work. I don't have to be that way but truly, like I said to my daughter, today we live in a time of E. Everything is E. There's an E before it. Okay? So you apply for a job or you apply for anything and they need to profile you. The first place they will go is to your social media pages. Yeah. They want to understand the person that you are. And if all of your content is really not mirroring what you have on your CV or your business proposal, a person may not want to take that chance on you. My niece, for example, who's like a sister to me, we grew up together. My mother raised her and my dad. She's a professional banker. She is relationship manager for business banking. And we're always talking about these kinds of things. And she says to me, Aunt, it is true. Today, everything is about profiling persons on their social media page. And if a person does not have a social media page, you meet with them one-on-one and really want to find out about them. And so for young persons today, they have forgotten that there is truly a time and place for everything. So Shauna, if I'm partying, I party the best way I can. And I have a damn good time. If I am at home disciplining my kids, I do it the best way I can so they never forget that disciplining. so they don't do it again. When I'm in front of the room doing a presentation for a group of people, I deliver it at my best because I don't want to shortchange the person who is receiving me at not receiving the best. If they had to make a decision based on what I am delivering to them. Yeah. So I do my home gardening. I don't sell anything that I grow, but I do it as if I have to present it to another. So if I have that mindset, it means I will always present it at the best that I know how to do every single time. There's a very close friend of mine, every time he's here at my house, and he would see how I make my bed and he sees how my kids make. He said, but I've never seen anyone make a bed like you. Only when I go to the hotels. I said, no, there are people who actually make their beds that way. Because for me, that's the first most important task for me for the day is to making my bed really well. So in the night, oh my God, you get to lay in a very beautiful, perfect bed. So Shauna, knowing where to draw the line, understanding there is a time and place for everything under the heavens, and knowing what behavior to adopt for this particular thing, this particular environment, this particular place, means that it will allow you to springboard yourself to various places on higher levels and higher levels, because it shows a level of maturity. Yeah. It shows an openness of wanting to learn and wanting to become better. And three, very powerfully gives you the power to be able to serve anywhere you go, wherever you are, and whoever is there. And for me, what that did, it eliminates every time any kind of me being intimidated by anyone or anything or any place, because I know wherever I step into, I give off the best of Vern, regardless of what I'm doing.
Right. And it doesn't mean that because you're acting in an appropriate manner for the environment that you're not being yourself, or that you're stripped of being yourself. Yeah?
A great example I use for my kids, for example, my eldest son, look at your body. It's your body, but there's so many different parts to your body, and every single part has a different function. But when all of these functionalities of all the different parts of your body come together, it makes a beautiful human being called you. And your behaviors are the same, because truly the behavior you have when you go to church is not the behavior you have when you go to the beach. And if you behave reverently in the church and you go to the beach and behave reverently, somebody will think something is really wrong with you. The same way you can't go to church with a swimsuit on and behaving unruly. It's not the behavior for that environment. So truly, when you think of your behaviors as your body, your mouth can't do what your eyes do, your toes can't do what your fingers do, and your bottom can't do what your chest would do. It helps you appreciate that your behavior would not be phony, especially when it's what you have chosen to do and not what somebody is forcing you to do. If somebody's forcing you to do something that doesn't make you feel good and feel yourself, then it means that you are in the wrong place, perhaps in the wrong time.
Yeah, great. Awesome advice, Vern. Awesome. So, Vern, you've been just listening to you and knowing you as a person, you have been so great at creating the kind of life that you want and creating a life that makes you happy. Yeah, so I want to ask the $1 million question, because I've known you from when I met you, you were a training and development manager. I was in sales at the time, and you taught me how to answer the phone properly and how to smile with my voice. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Right, exactly. And so you did that very well, but this is the profession that I knew you to have. This is where I knew you as a trainer. You trained in sales and customer service, and you were exceptional at it. So how did you make the jump from trainer to luxury brand consultant? Could you just take us through the journey a little bit? And then if you can integrate for us how having the success mindset led you from there to here.
Okay. First of all, I still feel that I am a training and development manager, because I do it every day in my business. Every single day I'm doing training and development. I do coaching with emotional intelligence with my team on a weekly basis. So Shauna, I am so immensely grateful for all the jobs I have had in my life, not very many of them. Every single skill set, everything I have learned in all of my jobs collectively have and continues to be used from day one for 10 years in my business. So for me, it wasn't so much of a jump, it was a continuation, but in a completely different place. Mm-hmm. So what propelled me to move from there, it was one of your warm-up questions, was really my role as a mom. I wanted to be a PhD mom. I wanted to have a PhD in being a mom. And if I have to go to any schooling for that, I think I would pass in flying colors, because considering all of the circumstances and situations I have endured as a wife and mom, I think my kids have done damn well. I am still married, but my husband and I have been separated. We're getting ready to do what I call a loving, peaceful, happy divorce. We're both very at peace. We're both contented. We're happy. We do what we have to do with and for our kids. And there's a level of understanding between us. That's on a side note. But in terms of the shifting of the mindset, for me, there was not much of a shift of mindset for me. It was really aligning myself deliberately with what I wanted and not following the gang, not doing what everybody else did. And that was a big deciding factor for me, because I looked at many others that had gone before me who had done what I was doing. And I looked at the results that they had with their lives. And I decided, that's not what I want. I don't want that kind of result. That by the time I'm done, by the time I retire, my kids would have all grown up, and I don't have the kinds of memories that I want with my kids. So when school is closed, we go gallivanting, we do things, and I don't have a limitation in my mind as to God, I have to go back to work and that kind of thing. And that's the kind of freedom I wanted. So it goes back for me to, what do I want? And I aligned myself with that in terms of visualizing what I wanted, what quality of life I wanted. And I started to feel what it would feel like of waking up on a morning on my own terms, not having a boss, me being my own boss, me dictating the amount of time I spend with my family. And after I drop my kids at school, I could go sit on the beach and work from there. I can go spend time with my parents. I can support a friend. I can do so much empowering now freely, not just to my job, but freely, globally. And so it stems for me it was from, what do I want? And for me, I wanted to be a PhD mom. I wanted to be a mom with all of the challenges, but still made it. That even if my husband and I wouldn't be able to make it, that my kids would not be impacted negatively as a result, and their path for life would not be negatively impacted. And I think me being there full time made a world of difference for my kids in that transitioning in my marriage. And this is something that normally we don't want to put out there, but this is my truth. This is what happened to me. And it was not a great marriage. Just like when you asked me what was my worst job, some of my worst experiences was in my marriage, but Shauna, they made me grow wings. They made me become a better mother, a better entrepreneur, a better coach, a better professional, a better trainer, a better everything. Because too often you hear persons blame a bad situation for the result happening for them now and moving forward. And it's really about what we choose. It's about the decisions that we make every day. And I decided that a separation, or not being married anymore, is not going to make me any less of a human being. So a person who did not go to university, who just went as far as college, see themselves less than the person who went to university and have so many degrees under their belt. And that's not true.
No, it's not.
My highest level of education, Shauna, was at Arthur Lewis Community College. Many persons think I have a degree here and a degree here. I don't. I have a PhD. It's called a mom.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
And
adjusting of the mindset. Yeah. The
but
adjusting
my measure of success for my life is how happy am I and how many people's lives I have positively impacted. And for me, that makes me, in my books, as successful as I imagined myself to have been at my age right now. So the transitioning, first, it goes back to your word, Shauna, is the mindset and how you see yourself, where you are at, and where do you want to go. So where you are at may not be a bad thing, like a bad job or a bad relationship or a bad business. But in order for us to grow, something bad always has to surface in order for us to now shift our thinking from where it's at to a higher place to get out of there. If we don't change our level of thinking to a higher place, it means we're digging ourselves deeper into where we are. Yeah. So complaining is never an answer. It only makes things worse. Gossiping about it or gossiping about her or him or them is never a good thing. It's going to take you into a bad place. And that's like pouring kerosene over a blazing fire. So if you are in a predicament right now where you want a promotion, you are thinking somebody else got a promotion that you wanted, perhaps the other promotion that is bigger and better should be yours, but you need to position yourself for it, because if you are grudging and hating and complaining and criticizing and gossiping, that means you just
and you'll attract more of that, right? More of what's leading you to that behavior.
So from my jobs, as what you knew me as, transitioning, every job I have gone to after that job that we worked together have always been aligned with something I wanted in terms of my skill set. And I was able to develop these skill sets everywhere that I went. Everywhere that I went, I was able to develop these skill sets further. And I guess because of what I was wanting, what I was asking for, things just started aligning itself for me automatically. Things I never imagined, people I never thought would cross my path, that I would be at the same round table with, and me speaking and they listening and taking notes from. My goodness, I never imagined these things would happen, Shauna. Wow. And so I say to anyone, know what you want. Ask for what you want. Matthew 7:7. Ask and it is given. Seek and you will find it. Knock and it will be open. For everyone who asks receives. There's no condition to that. But the question is, how do we ask? We think asking is, oh, and I want, please give me, please give me. But asking is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That is asking. So learn how to think. There's a pandemic. Oh, there's no jobs. Of course there are jobs.
There are
so many jobs. Go out there and get that job. Begin to write down the job that you want, the place you want the job with, the salary you want. So write out your contract, write out the terms and conditions of your job, and then go into Thanksgiving for it as if you had it already, feeling it, spending the money that you're getting from the job, helping others with your job and all of that. So align yourself with what you want, a career, a job, a promotion, a business, whatever it is that you're wanting. But first, know what you want.
I love that you gave that little step-by-step process just now, because my next question would have been, what I want you to expound on was, how do you create that alignment? Because I think now so many people, and before, of course, have this belief of lack, that there is not enough. There is not available at this time because of what's happening in the world, or because of where I am right now, it's not available. But how do people go about creating more alignment? Because you and I, we've studied this, we've kind of studied it together as well, and we understand it better than many people who have never, given themselves the opportunity to explore. People have this mentality of lack. How do people create alignments? How do I? So someone comes to you, well, Miss Charles, how do you create this alignment that you're talking about? What should I do? How do you
I
answer
just
that?
picked up one of my notebooks. I think that notebook goes as far back as 2016 or something like that, or more than that. And as I open it, it has on it, day one, count your blessings, right? I need to put on my glasses now. And it was something that I do with my entire family, my kids. And so everybody had a notebook where they had to write down at least 10 gratitude statements every day. And this is how I taught them, not just to tell them to be grateful or to give thanks, but I had them do it, and we did it every day together. And then we would read it together. And it's really about knowing how to exude love, how to give off love, how to give off the energy of love and appreciation. So what I have here, I will just go through some of them with you. I am happy and grateful that I am alive and well because I am experiencing life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy and grateful for my 4 children because they magnify lots of love in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am happy and grateful that I have a home because it keeps me safe and secure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am happy and grateful that my home has all the appliances that I want because they make life so much easier for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy and grateful for water because it brings life to life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy and grateful for my business because it causes me to have fun and make loads of money. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy and grateful for my parents because they add a lot to my life every single day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy and grateful for my business partners all over the world because they cause me to feel a sense of purpose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm happy and grateful for all the money I currently have. It allows me to take care of my home, my family, and my community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am happy and grateful for my peace because it keeps me in a very good place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I had this entire book that I wrote, I would write every day. And why write it? Because when you write it, you're thinking about it and then you're watching it. And then you read it. So you're doing every gratitude statement 3 times. 3 times. And then it begins to bring about that feeling. So when you really think about a thing, it makes you feel in a particular way if you stay on that thought long enough. And then that feeling causes you now to begin to think more of it and more of it. And then your imagination begins to kick in. And so where that becomes challenging for most is they begin to hear voices of other people in their heads. And that used to be me many years ago. When I was trying to decide on something to do, I would start hearing the voices of my older siblings. I'm 12 out of 13, so I pretty much did not have a voice. And I would hear all of their voices of what they would be saying to me. And I would decide on it based on what I think they would say. And then if it wasn't them, I would think of my work colleagues, and I would think of people in the community, and I would think of, and then I would be starting to think on, and then the feeling begins to change. And then a good thing that I would have done, could have done, now starts to play off in a bad way for me. And then I say that it wasn't meant to be. That's not what God wanted. And that's not true. It's really about our thought process. So we are bombarded today, Shona, with so much. The radio, the social media, the television, the Netflix. We are bombarded. So today it's a challenge for people to become quiet. Yeah. It's a challenge for people to become in sync with themselves. And this is where most people have a challenge. It's in the beginning. Is being able to tap into source, is being able to tap within self. And most people say they pray, but most people rattle out a lot of words. And then that's it. But being able to become quiet and really begin to think about what ideally is your life. And then we start to become limited. Even if our imagination is huge, we begin to limit ourselves and say, no, That's not for me. Nobody in my family has that. I don't know anybody that's rich. I don't know anybody that really got to become a manager and did not have degrees. I don't know of anybody, and
people will laugh
this is not possible.
Yeah,
people will laugh at me. Oh, I just reached there. They will say who I think I am, and they did go there for so long. She's never gotten a promotion, and my supervisor doesn't like me, and the banks have never. We've come up with all sorts of excuses, but I say, what if there were no limitations? How far would you go? So I'll give you a story, and I hope that would really answer the question. Since I started my business in 2011, I've been trying to acquire a loan to purchase a vehicle of my choice. Between my husband and I, we've had vehicles, but they're more what my husband wanted and not really what I wanted. I call myself a badass girl, so I want a badass vehicle.
Why not?
I call myself badass girl. So every time I went to the bank, Shauna, I would be told my business model is not a typical business, so they're not able to secure a loan. And then for years, I stopped trying. And I just told myself, you know what, it is what it is. What I will have to do is just save up and buy my vehicle cash. Last year, during the pandemic, I was doing a love retreat with my team. And of course, being the facilitator, I participated. I did everything that I told my team to do. And one of the tasks I had everybody do, everybody wanted to acquire something, either to fix their home or to do something that required money. So I had everyone go and open an account, either in a credit union or a bank. Everybody's moving to the credit union now because the banks have so many, you know. So I did the same thing. I opened an account at the credit union, and we decided every week to deposit a certain amount of money, minimum every week. And so we started doing that, and everyone was doing that. And we're sharing with each other on a weekly basis, deposit done, deposit done, deposit done, deposit done. And it created an energy in the group. And persons who had never saved in years suddenly have an account. It's called a projects account, and persons are able to save. So I went vehicle shopping for the first time in years. So first I was looking at a car, and then I figured, so I'm thinking in my head, I can't do a big one because I know, and then every time a negative thought would come in, I would slap myself. What do you want? Bam, what do you want? And then when I thought I had settled in on a vehicle, it was an SUV, not very big, but big enough for me and my kids. Deep inside of me, I knew that's not what I really wanted. I settled for that. But if I had no limitations, that's not what I wanted. I really wanted a pickup truck because my kids in cricket, they have all of these gear bags and all of these heavy things. I wanted a truck. And so while on the road, there's a huge billboard right in front of me. They just changed the picture on the billboard, and boom, there's a picture of the Chevrolet Colorado 2020 on there. I said, that's the one. That's the one. And I said, I wanted it in red. So I called this friend of mine. I said to him, listen, I'm going to do a test drive. Would you come with me? He said, sure, and let's go. So I went and I said to the sales manager, I said, I want to test drive this vehicle. He says, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. I said, I thought you settled on that vehicle. I said, yes, I know, but I want to test drive this one. We went and we test drive the vehicle, Shauna. And I said to him, prepare me an open bill for this. And he says, Vern, really? I said, yes, prepare it for me. He prepared it for me. He gave it to me. I brought it. I went in to do the interview at the credit union using the same account, the projects account. And Shauna, within 24 hours, it was approved. And that happened within weeks.
What?
It happened within just a few weeks of me deciding that this is what I really want. And that made me feel so good. I was so excited. I went on Amazon before I even applied for the loan. I went on Amazon and I ordered everything red to match the vehicle, the thing for my phone, Contigo mugs, and other little paraphernalia for my vehicle in red, the thing for the steering wheel in red and black. I had not gotten the loan yet. I had not applied for the loan. I ordered everything as if I had the vehicle already, and that felt so good. Then I went into my store and I ordered a $3,000 red baby for my vehicle.
La la.
And of course, because of the type of business, I got it for free. I didn't pay a cent for it. But if a person has to go on my website to purchase it, it would be, the price is about 1,700 Canadian dollars.
What's the brand?
So it's Ferry. It's our brand, Ferry.
Ferry one. Okay.
And then I ordered, I already had a host of red high heels. Then I ordered some red loafers. So when it's on the casual day. And so I started decking myself as if I had it already. I went on YouTube and I started driving that vehicle. I drove it through the terrain, through the sand, through the water, and I was having fun with that. And so I started preparing my parking spot underneath my house for it. I did everything as if it was already done. Yeah. And so when I did the interview, and then in 24 hours, I got a call, I was like, this thing works like magic.
Every time.
Single time, it works like magic. And it's the same thing with my daughter for school. That's how she got, she started medical school right here in St. Lucia during the pandemic year. And at first they told her she's not eligible for a scholarship at the school. And I said, Chloe, don't worry, wherever the scholarship is coming from, I don't know, but you are going to get a scholarship. And then in July of last year, the school sends an email to tell her that she's eligible for the 50% local scholarship that they just started back. And she was the first person to be called because they can only give 10. And she was the first person that was called for the scholarship. And so no matter how impossible we think something is, once we can really align ourselves. So if you know what you want, get a notebook. Right. It doesn't have to be this big. And write it down. Call it your personal life journal or your dreams or whatever it is. Write in it every day and read it back to yourself every day. I used to read it and record it on my phone. So when I'm on the go, I have my headphones on and people think I'm listening to music. I'm listening to me, affirming me. I have done some pretty cuckoo things and people call me crazy. People call me out of this world, but they work. And I've taught so many others to do it and they work, they work, they work. So write down what it is that you want. Give thanks for it as if you already have it and say, don't just say, I'm so grateful for my promotion. I'm very grateful for my promotion to X position because, say why. Because the why is what will really give you the vibe.
Yes, that's the power right there.
What will give you the vibe, you know? My hair used to be short for a long time because every time my hair started growing, it would be limp, very thin, would be pulling out and all of that. And every time I saw a beautiful head of hair, Sean, I would give love to it. I was like, oh my God, I love her hair. Even if I did not tell the person the compliment, like this one, and I complimented you about your hair. I love a beautiful head of hair. And I would say, oh my God, I so love her hair. And it's not because I wanted, I just love to see it. And then when I really deliberately started to really give love to hair, boom, my hair starts growing as if I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. See?
And if I see my hair over the past 3 years and see the growth, I'm like, whoa. So it's about giving love to what it is that you want. Regardless, just give love to it. Get into your quiet place and give love to it and write it down. Give thanks for it every day. Yeah. Don't go doing 100 different things, trying to achieve 100 different things at the same time. That's cutting yourself too thin. Focus on three areas, 3 subject areas. If it pertains to your career, list 3 different areas that you want to give thanks for and focus on that, work on that. And when you've accomplished it, then move to another. And when you accomplish that, move to another and move to another. Don't try overwhelming yourself with so many at the same time that no one of them is getting enough attention. Yeah. So know what you want, write it down, feel what you want to feel about it in a good way and expect it to happen and work on it.
And I would add a number 5 there from what you're saying. Act as if you have it. Yeah. As if it's already there. And that's how you really create the alignment. Yeah.
So no, I can't help watching your face. From time I know your face is always glowing.
Oh God, Vern.
Always glowing.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And your face is always glowing as well, and it's glowing right
Thank
now.
you.
Your lighting keeps going in and out, but
oh,
yeah, but we know your face is gorgeous, and I just thank you so much for this interview today. There are two more areas that I want to touch on. Just two more, and then we'll wrap it up. Well, make that three, because I forgot the forensic networker. Maybe we can jump into that now. Tell us what you describe yourself as, a forensic networker. Tell us what that means. Explain to us, what exactly a forensic networker is, and how does that manifest itself in what you do.
Okay, great. The CEO of my company, he is the forensic networker, and he's the one who trains on forensic networker. And remember how I said everything I've done in every single job has allowed me to use in my current business. Mm-hmm. So when he trained on the forensic networker,
and she's prepared. She just whips out the book.
Well, I'm at my desk, and all of my work tools are on my desk.
Yeah, I love it.
So I attended about 3 seminars in Canada where I paid a lot of money to learning how to become a forensic networker. Mm-hmm. And forensic meaning it's systematic, it's a system. So you could be a forensic housewife, you could be a forensic accountant, you can be a forensic speaker. It means that you have a system that you use every single time, and that system yields the results for you. So forensic networker means I network systematically.
Okay, all right.
I network systematically. So you will be able to relate to that, Shauna. You worked at a call center where I was the manager. Mm-hmm. And so remember the process. You get a call, so that means that automatic system will dial a number for you, or you dial it manually on your phone. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what happens to that call, you put what is called a termination code to say what happened with that call. Yeah. And you have a certain number of calls you have to make every day to be able to hit your targets. Mm-hmm. And so if you miss that target today, it means that you need to push more tomorrow to be able to make up. Otherwise, you will not meet the target for the week. And if you don't hit the target for the week, it would put more stress and pressure on the following week. And then the month, you don't meet the target for the month, and then the quarter, and then the year, and so on. So it's really, in order to control or to keep check or to account to yourself that you are on par, you are right where you're supposed to be, it means that you need to track what you're doing all the time. Mm-hmm. So for my business, this is what the forensic system truly is. It's a tracking system to be able to account to myself that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do daily to be able to hit the targets that I want to hit for myself at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year. And it comes back to, what is it that I want? Yeah. So what I want comes with a plan. And if I don't work that plan, then I don't get to manifest what I want. So if I did not open that account and every week depositing that amount every single week, then the rest of my manifestation would not fall in place because I would not get an account magically. So there's a saying, faith without works is dead faith. Mm-hmm. So forensic is about me systematically doing everything that I have to do so I can account to myself. I have 3 millionaires who are my mentors. And so every week I must send them what my weekly method of operation was, what I achieved for the week. And then they look at my graphs, they look at all of that. And then they let me know what my training areas are, what my training needs are, because we all are constantly evolving. We all need to continue growing. And so these persons are the ones that influence my growth when it comes to my business and my professional, my career path. Mm-hmm. So forensic networker can actually be used in any business because it's about customers, it's about clients, and every single business has clients, has customers. It's a great way to create your follow-up system. It's a great way to keep notes on all of your clients. It's a great way for everyday work for your clients. So I have taught travel agents to doing that. I have taught real estate agents, insurance agents to do that. My sister who has a store, I have taught her the system. So it's a system that can be used in virtually any business, especially if it's a small to medium-sized business. It's a very powerful system to use to ensure that every day you are bringing about new blood into your business. As a when I say new blood, I mean new clients, new customers, new whatever, to be able to make the amount of money that you're aspiring to make at the end of the month.
Okay, fantastic. And since we're talking already about what it is, you know, how you use this in your work, can you tell us a little bit more just to help us understand what it is you do? And for persons who don't know what a luxury brand consultant is, or a brand consultant, and who may be thinking of possibly getting into that space and making that a career for them, can you help us understand better what it is you do? Take us through a typical day of work for you, and some of your core duties.
All right. So first of all, as a luxury brand consultant, why we say brand, why luxury, why consultant? Luxury is because I've partnered up with Canada's largest designer fashion house called Opulence Global. And Opulence Global is started off in 2005 with designer products like the timepiece I'm wearing, the jewelry that I have on, my pendant, shoes, bags, all of these are from our fashion house. Then we moved into skincare, where we have a professional spa grade skincare line that you do at home, a regimen you do at home every day that gives you the spa grade quality, and all of our products are natural ingredients. Then we have our health department, where we thrive with one product that is very, very powerful. Most persons have heard about it, but still so many have not, and it's called Fountain of Life. And we have our personal care with dental, shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and we have so many others coming. We have a skincare lotion coming out, a body lotion, all natural, and all have great benefits for so many different things in the body. So designer, of course, is the same thing. We have our own designer brand. Our brand is Fairy, Posh by Fairy, and Fairy Mosh. And all of our products fall under these brands. As a consultant, I am an independent partner, meaning while I have partnered up with Opulence Global, I am independent, where I'm not employed by Opulence Global. I own, it's like a franchise. I own my little franchise with Opulence Global. So I do all of my marketing, all of my sales, all of my everything on my own, while the company has a massive compensation plan that pays me 12 different ways for doing only 2 things. So what I do every day is I have what is called a daily method of operation. And my daily method of operation has a list of things that I must do every day. And one is I always have to have some sort of online presence. So I post either something, well, there are 3 different posts I do on a daily basis on my different media platforms. One has to be inspirational, another about my business opportunity, and another about my products. And so I do these. The second thing I do is I follow up with all of those persons that I had to follow up on today. And the follow-ups are very important because most of your money is actually in the follow-ups. The third thing I do is to contact new persons for sales opportunities and for partnership opportunities. So persons who are looking to add an additional stream of income, or a person who's not employed and wants to start their business online, then I call at least 20 persons per day for that. And for new sales opportunities, I call at least 10 new persons for that. And I make sure that every day I also add new names to my list of prospective customers and business partners. After that is I give back. I now begin to support my team. I call persons on my team who need support, who needs help. Some of them call me. They call me more than I call them, which is good for me. And so every day there's someone who needs help. And so for that, and then apart from that, there's certain days in the week I do webinars where I either do host training, like there's a Somali community from all over the world that I have been doing forensic networker training with them, a series of workshops every Saturday for the past 2 Saturdays. This Saturday is our wrap Saturday. And I do every Sunday, I host and present, myself and my business partner, we host and present the International Business Opportunity and Product Showcase call for the entire company every Sunday. This coming Sunday, for example, I am the inspiration of the week, where I will be sharing my story to persons invited from all over the world. It's going to be a big call. Last week we had our youngest millionaire on. Next Sunday it's me. So on a daily basis, I do have, even if it's my own business and I'm working from home, Shauna, even if I have the laundry to do and I have the cleaning to do and I have the cooking to do and I have all of these things to do, if I don't do my daily method of operation, which is part of my forensic system, then I don't get the check that I want to write for myself every week and every day. And so when we look at major corporations, the reason that they do so well and they're thriving and they're in business for all of these decades is because they are forensic. They have an accounting system and they have persons working in the accounts department that come in every day and they have a job description. That's a forensic system. Then you go into the customer service department and the sales department and the HR department and all of the departments. Every single person employed in that organization have a job description to do. And at the end of the month, you get an appraisal, or what is called, I don't know if it's every month, or some persons do it biannually, some persons do it annually. In our call center, we did it weekly to make sure everybody was on par all the time. And so your job, any business, is no different to what I do. We call it different things, but it's really the same thing. So you may be in PR, but if you don't go to work and do what you're supposed to be every day, there's no job. And then if you don't do it, the company still needs it done. So you'll be fired and somebody else will come doing it. Nobody can fire me because I'm my own boss, but I may not get the check that I want at the end of the month if I don't do all of these things that I'm supposed to do in my business. So on a daily basis, I follow my daily method of operation. I still do what I'm supposed to do. As I'm on, like, in a little bit about 1 o'clock, I'm supposed to go take my boys to cricket at the stadium. But while I'm on the road, I have this baby with me and I'm working while I'm on the road. I can still do my daily method of operation while I'm on the road. And there's no time limit for me because it's a global business that I have. So while St. Lucia is sleeping, Australia is awake, the Netherlands are awake, there's so many other countries that are awake. So I still can do my business in the wee hours of the morning and sleep till 11 the following day.
And so if there are any young persons or any persons who are interested in following that track, in making this a career, in possibly becoming a brand consultant for your company, what advice would you give to them? What are the steps? What kind of characteristics do you think they should work on developing?
Well, they don't even have to develop any characteristics. They can come exactly as they are. No experience, no idea what to do, how to do. Don't think they don't know anybody and that kind of thing. Even if they're like that, they can still become a brand partner. Why? Because we do a lot of training, a lot of coaching, a lot of support, a lot of empowerment. And the training that we do, it's not just business training. We do a lot of personal development training. I personally do a lot of personal development training. I do a lot of spiritual training as well with my team, and to doing the same things we spoke about earlier, knowing what you want, developing a love for yourself, developing a love for the things that you want to achieve in your life and all of that. So becoming a brand partner with Opulence Global, it's a lot bigger than just having a business and making money. It's also about becoming the best version of you in developing yourself in so many areas. So normally the process to getting to be a brand partner, you must be invited in by someone. So for persons who have never heard of Opulence Global before or didn't know about an opportunity such as that, like my daughter is funding her way through school using this business because I plugged her in. I got her own business when she was 10 years old. 10 years old.
Wow.
And because of the work I was doing, it was benefiting her. So she just had 1/3 of the work to do when she graduated from convent. And that's what's funding her schooling right now. And so if the person who's listening already has been spoken and invited by an Opulence Global partner, then go back to that person and get more information if you don't have enough to be able to get started. If not, then of course they can reach out to me, Shauna, and I can go through the full presentation with them. Every Sunday at 8 p.m. I do these presentations Eastern Standard Time. I usually have it posted on my page on Facebook, so I will be posting it again this week for Sunday. And my telephone number is always posted on my Facebook postings. I don't know if you wanted to add my telephone number there, but
yes, I will do that. We'll definitely edit it in, but you can tell us, for those watching, you can write it down. Tell us how we can reach you. Tell persons how they can connect with you online and on the phone.
All right, so my telephone number, it's 1-758-384-1918. You can reach me on WhatsApp or direct, depending on your choice. On Facebook, it's my actual name, Vernisha Charles Jones. You can message me on Messenger. On Instagram, I am Vernisha Charles Jones, I think, as well.
And we'll put all your handles. We'll put all your handles under the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Instagram, it's that. I think it's Vernisha Charles Jones on Instagram as well.
Wonderful.
Vernisha C. Jones.
Okay.
Vernisha C. Jones. And even if you were to put Vernisha Charles Jones, you'll still find me on Instagram.
Yeah.
So the fastest way to get me, of course, is via WhatsApp on my phone, Messenger as well. You could reach me there as well.
And that's Facebook Messenger, yes?
Facebook Messenger, yes.
Okay, great. And your account is open. Anybody can reach out to you. Nobody will be blocked.
Nobody will be blocked. Although I think I have started cleaning up my account because I've gotten to the 5,000 friends so many times. So I'm usually cleaning up every now and then. So I have more room to add new persons.
Okay, fantastic. Wow, Vern, so many takeaways from this. What would be the one thing, if no one remembers anything, what would be the one thing you'd like everybody to remember about what we spoke about today?
Love yourself. Yeah. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love on you, because no one else will do it except you. And if you don't love on you, then you don't give off that energy for others to love on you. Exactly. So stop saying I love you, expecting to hear I love you back. Say it to you. So look into the mirror and say, Vern, I love you. I love you. I love you because, and all the reasons you love you. So the one thing I'd love everybody to remember is love you. Love you.
That is so powerful. Thank you so much, Vern. We have been chatting with luxury brand consultant Vernisha Charles Jones. We've been talking about her career and one of her most passionate subjects and very important, of course, topics, developing a success mindset. Vern, thank you so much again for putting all of this out into the universe, for sharing all of this information with us. I truly love you for it. I thank you so much again. And I thank everyone who was able to tune into this, this episode. This is our very first episode, by the way. I need to say that.
Is it?
Yes, it is, Vern. So you are the very first guest that we have on the Career Success series, and I think you've just really set the stage. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shauna, for such an opportunity, a powerful opportunity to serve others together with you. And I'm really hoping that there's at least one person that this interview would impact. If it has impacted at least one person, I will be so grateful.
And we've done our job. We've done our job. Thank you, Vern. Have a lovely day. And of course, we'll connect after.
Thank you, Shauna, and lovely day to everyone.
Bye.